Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at Goldman Sachs, JPM, BAC, and Wells Fargo. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like these videos, go to my website, they're free, or click down here in the bottom right hand corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Traders, looking for a new broker? Check out venomtrading.com/promo/StockBookie. Alright guys, let's get into the Goldman Sachs chart. Daily, let's click on the D, 1.8 million on the day, 0.48% green, or $1.05 up on the day. This has been bleeding a little bit, coming off of a head and shoulder pattern here. It's a choppy, sloppy pattern, but you can see it here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We break down, retrace, come back into the 750, try to get above the MAs, couldn't do it, comes right back down, and now we have a great bearish pattern. The only thing that can stop this is going into earnings, guys. Goldman Sachs, I'm not sure, but it's got to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. That's the only thing I believe that thing's going to pop this up. We had a nice pullback off the 275 area, quarter number, and here we are down here, almost hitting the price target to the head and shoulder, which would be right around the 211 area or the 209.65 or this low pivot. We still have a gap filled down in here. We did fill the gap down here. That's what it's holding. But guys, weak. This thing was going and going and then pull back. Started hitting choppy waters right in here. Choppy, up and down, and now we're slowly bleeding with Goldman. The weekly chart you can see a little bit better. Here's the high trend line that we've been following that it just can't get above. Every time it looks like it's going to go, everyone gets excited. Oh, it's breaking out. It comes right back in. There's your head and shoulder, and here's your other key area at the 211.29, which is holding. It's not there yet. We have another gap fill here at 217.19, so we're going to see what happens. But this thing's rolling over pretty good here off the all-time highs, and the 20 and the 50 MA are starting to curl into price. We still are above the 200 MA here and still above these key areas at 209 area. But I think if this the earnings season, if it's weak, I think the target will be the 204 area, and honestly I think we could get down to this area around here, around the 170. There is a gap fill right here though, right around the 176.09, so we'll be watching this area though big time, guys. If we don't bounce on here, we will have lower prices to come. But with the financials, guys, they're all looking pretty much the same, all a little bit weak, all off their highs. Everything else is hitting all-time highs, like the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Googles, all tech names. Which in my book, I don't really care, guys. I want to see the banks leading. So let's see what happens with this one. We have a gap fill down here. We have the strong area around the 210. And then we have the 204. So I think it's like a magnet, guys. It's gonna have to hit this one. We haven't hit the 200 MA in a long time. I think that's gonna be target. But again, let's see if this plays out. Earnings could drive this up, or it could lead this to lower prices, so keep an eye on that. If you are trying to go long on this, I think this is the area. If the 200 or the 204 cracks, I think we're going lower to the 170. And if we look on let's look at the monthlies. No, it's not terrible. Here's the MA. So yeah, look at that, 202. Gosh, that's a pretty good area around the 200 even number. But then you have this big area around, and this is going to curl up too, guys. This is the monthly, so it's a bigger time frame. So this is going to curl up 175. Yeah, we're going to have to see about this if it does come down. Your key area is that 211.29, because even that where it retraced, came down, broke out, came up, and now it's coming right back to this area. So we're going to have to see where this one comes into. I want to pull this one a little bit bigger. I want to go to this low pivot here. This is the Fibonacci, guys. 50%. Yeah, look at that, 190, 172. So wow, I think we got more pain to come. If earnings don't deliver on these financials, we're going downtown, guys, on these. And if the financials are going lower, we're going to be in trouble. JPM monthly chart. I see price target on the monthly at least at about 100. We're almost there though. Look at this thing. I mean, gosh, financial, guys. Financial going from 52 to 120. This is just insane. This thing's going to be back to a $77 stock. Right here too is a good area around 82. But first stop will be the $100 stop. So my gosh. Daily chart. Same thing like Goldman. We get the high. I mean, we chopped around. We get the high. Now we're stair stepping down. We have the big trend line coming from this high, and then we have the trend line coming from the old all-time high, connecting that low to this low. So back below the MAs, weak stance, and chopping in a bearish pattern, guys. Next big area will be the 101.35. Then you have a small gap fill around 97.95, and then the 96.02, which will be the double bottom down in this area. So, we tried to make a high. This thing just keeps slowly bleeding. A little bit of a downtrend now below the MA. So, again, earnings season's coming up. Will this make a pop and try to make a, run for the roses and get above these moving averages? If it does start to move on earnings, if it gets above here, there could be a possible trade for a long side. So, has to still get through this area, a lot of overhead consolidation. We'll see what happens, guys. But a weak stance right here with JPM. You're still below this low pivot down in here. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly's going to tell us more because it was the Friday close. Yeah, trying to hold that 50 MA too. Yeah, this is looking a little bit weak, guys. So we're back below the 50 MA. It tried getting above it. Let's see what happens on the weekly chart. See if we stay below this area. If we continue going sideways into earnings, of course it's a 50-50 shot. It could go up or down. I would look for the pop and then the drop on earnings. But that's me. Still inside this bar. Gosh, did we get? Yeah, we got below it. So inside bar, bearish pattern. We talked about this. Gets below it. It's got to get above this. The MAs, guys. Earnings. No matter what, they got to try to get this thing above. They got to sugarcoat it. Oh, it's better than expected, and pop these financials. If financials don't start leading, the markets are going to have trouble getting to new all-time highs, in my opinion. So we'll watch for the 100 area, and then we'll watch for this area down here around the 96.02. I still believe weekly chart 200 MA will be the target, especially if the markets end up being weak. You got this low pivot too around 81. I'll be definitely a buyer down in here in this area if we make it there. It's still a 25-point drop, but gosh, these things should be leading, period. Not tech, not all this other crap. Financials got to lead. The ExxonMobil's got to lead. The Apple's got to lead. Those are the ones that have to lead the market to higher prices. If this thing doesn't get a chance and stays outside of this red bar and it's below, it were lower prices to come, guys. Let's look at the monthly. On June, yeah, target, yeah, $100. Here's your target, guys, 96. If that fails, then we're going to 75 down in this area. So, and if it really starts falling apart, we will be down here at $50, guys, again. This move here from the beginning of 2016, we were at $52 to $120, guys, in a major stock like this, 100% move. It's out of control, guys, out of control. BAC. This isn't the real Bank of America. JPM is, guys. Same charts, guys. Price target 26. Another one. Goes from $11 to $34, $33. It's coming down, guys. Sorry. $20 will be your target. A lot of support down in here around 23. This is the bigger time frame. That if it does come that $20, it will take a little bit of time unless the markets are falling apart. Daily chart though of BAC, pretty much the same as JPM. We hit the highs, got some turbulence, came back in, trying to hold the 29 area, bouncing around, comes back up to this area here. I'm going to pull this. This is a major trend line right here, guys. If you can't get above this, it's not going anywhere. You got all this overhead resistance, and now you're in a weaker stance. All the other stocks are trying to get above the MAs, where all the financials are below the MAs in a weaker stance. All of them, guys. So target on this one here, still around $25. Again, earnings season, guys, coming up. You filled the gap here. You came down here around the 27.64 area. It's getting the bounce. But man, it's just kind of dribbling. Markets have big gains, and you're only up a little bit on this on the Bank of America. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing, guys. Look at these moves. It comes off a pretty good base. Up, I should say, you go to 12 to here, in a couple months, 12 at 100% move, then you base for another 100% move. It's pretty insane, guys, if you ask me. Not that this was 120, about 50%. So then you get the inside bar. We talked about this inside bar weekly chart. Boom, inside bar, consolidation, consolidation. This is a massive bearish pattern. Now you're below the MA and the 20 MA on the weekly chart. This one had 40 million on the day, 0.39% up, 11 cents up on the day, so it was up a little bit on the day. But this 20 MA starts curling in the price. This starts going to a little bit of a wedge. I'd still say 20 bucks. You have a big gap filled down here. I'll put it in there. Oops. That is, let's see, this one is right around 22.68. Yeah, $20 is your target, guys. So watch for that coming off here. But again, earnings, it's got to get it back above the MAs and start going. They got to get some hype going. Then CNBC has to get a hold of it, talk about the hype, and oh my gosh, it's BAC, it's Goldman Sachs. But these have to lead if the markets want to go higher. Period. Period, guys. So here's your little bit of a wedge or pennant if you want to look at that. You're below it. You got to get above those areas, guys. Period. Volume. Let's see the weekly. All right, now we got our volume back finally. So the volume's been light coming down in here. That's one thing I've been noticing. You get some heavy sticks here on some selling, a little bit of push, comes back in. But just weak, especially this one. This one gaps up and comes right back in, and then you start getting some follow through down below the MAs. But again, there's a little bit stretched coming to the bottom, so I would, this thing could possibly get a little bit of a move. And then this is the turbulence. We'll see if we can make it through. All of them are the same, guys, right now. So daily chart, it's been okay. Want to see if this thing can push through a little bit higher. But down sideways, guys. This is a pattern that's setting up for lower prices. But again, earnings coming up. Can this save the day? You even have a little doji on the weekly chart here too. Week close though, guys. Gosh, I'm gonna have to look at that. I mean, they got to push it up. Bottom line, they got to get it back inside this bar. Period. Let's look at Wells Fargo Corp. Wells Fargo. Let's look at the daily. I don't have anything on here, so we'll get to do some here. But look at that though, guys. Off of the high. We just plummet. And I think they had like a security breach or some crap. Retrace, falls right back in. You're coming down to this area. What do? We fill the gap right here, right at the 50.63 and the 50 even number. And then you have the next gap down here, right around 49.56. So you have really good support down in this area. That's where it held. Got a nice little retrace here. Let's put a Fibonacci. Do a fib from that high to that low. Look at that 618 right there. Wow, it's pretty magical, guys. Gets above the 50 MA, everyone starts to cheer. Oh, here it goes again. Hits the 618, gets this high pivot, and this is where it started breaking down. So you're gonna have a lot of people who were once buyers here become sellers because they're get the break even, because at 57 to 50 they're getting their butt kicked a little bit. Comes back in, retraces, they take their profit, comes right back in. Holding strong though. We did bounce up. We are going a little slight micro bullish pattern, but overall, guys, down sideways. This is setting up for definitely lower prices. Again though, earnings 50-50 shot like the casino. You see a little bit better on the weekly. Look at that launch. So we go from 49 to 66. Everyone's getting excited. Then they dump it on a security breach or whatever it was. Comes here, nice little retrace. Gets back above the MAs though on the weekly. Gosh, because this was weak. Again, look at that nice bearish pattern, and all of a sudden it starts to float. Volume gets a little bit lighter down in here, and then pop goes the weasel. 618 though at the $57 area, comes right back in, but holding the MAs. This is going to be interesting for a lot of these financials. Again, these got to lead for the stocks to move higher, period. 61.26 will be a good area, as well as the 58.48. And because you got this pivot here too, around the 50, around the 60 bucks. So 60 bucks will be good area, 58. 59 to 61. How about we do that? So up in there, if it gets up there. If this pattern starts to play out, I think we'll start hitting these lower prices down in here. So right now, I'm going to push this out a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to stick another off this pivot. I'm going to hit this one. Gosh, you could almost make a case for that too. So I'm going to put that. That's another big trend line here. This is not the symmetry the best, but that's where it seems to be holding, coming in here. This is where it held, got above it, and let's see if it's going to hold. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick, oops, I'm going to put it down below here. I want that one below. I know that held on this area here. So, all right, guys. So Wells Fargo, if this thing holds, here's your big area. You want gap fill, trend line, $50 even number. That will be the area to watch for this one here. So again, these have to be leading in order for the markets to go higher, especially JPM, and JPM's well off the highs. Going into earnings, it could go definitely catch a bid, all these, and go right back to it. You have another big gap fill around 64 too. So financials a little bit weak. Going into earnings, we'll see what happens, see what it gives us. But right now, guys, if you're trying to go long on these, just hold tight. Let's see what it gives us going into the third quarter earnings. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Want to do a little bit on the financials. You know, we'll see what happens. Again, we're going a little bit lighter on positions. We've been covering a lot of stuff. We're still in a lot of positions too. But let's see what it gives us, and hopefully we can get some pops on these so we could go short. If we get some drops, then we'll be looking for areas to go long. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks again for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to become a member at StockBookie.com. The videos, not all the videos are free, but a lot of them are. And don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe down here in the right-hand bottom corner. And guys, hopefully you had a great weekend, great 4th of July, and all that good stuff. And again, thanks for stopping by. God bless. See you on the charts.